So it's going live.
Oh, I'll let people know on Discord.
Awesome. Now we need to share that live chat to them. We've got nobody watching at the moment.
Do you want to send me the link on WhatsApp?
I can't send you the link on WhatsApp because I'm actually inside it. I haven't got the outside and the inside simultaneously. It's a pain.
There, I've got it.
Oh, cool. We've got 5 people already, so they must have gone to the channel anyway. Hello. I can see you joining, so I hope you guys can hear us and see us here as well. I hope it's better now, John. Yes, I very much hope so. If you can see and hear us, then yeah, it's brilliant. Hello, Chris. Cool. Awesome. So we're going to reset now and carry on as if this is what we were meant to be doing in the first place. And this is a perfect start, which is brilliant. And yeah, hello everybody. And hello Clover down there in the corner, hiding away.
I'm not, I'm on my phone.
I know. But it's okay, I can see the comments now. So.
Good.
So, yeah. You're going to have to turn that down.
I've turned it off.
Okay. Why did you need to turn it off?
I was getting the link.
Okay. Brilliant. Okay. So, I think most people are back now that we had to start with, which is really good. And hi, and we put up a video today on Instagram on the Studio Kokoro profile. Anybody who's not following us on that, we're putting up good stuff. So please join us in enjoying that. And if there are any videos that you would like to see, and if they are appropriate to be made in that short Instagram format, we will be happy to do so. You're really staring at me in a very distracting way now. No, she's there like.
Well, they can see.
Expecting puppy. No. Can they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just got out of the bath.
We won't have any banter then. We'll just,
I don't know. People might confuse it for something else.
No.
Anyway, yes. To recap on a question in the last session, how's Dave getting on with chemo?
Dave is getting on okay with chemo. It's really wearing. We're just coming out of the second round now, and I've had kind of a downtime, but it does depress your system. The most concerning thing is obviously that it kills your immune system. And under the circumstances with the COVID thing, that's really worrying. And we're in the position where I've got to isolate, like not even go outside for 12 weeks.
Yeah, we're supposed to be using separate towels, and we're supposed to have separate bathrooms because Dave is shielding.
But
we only have one bathroom, so we're trying to work around that.
Yes. We're supposed to sleep in separate beds. We've only got the one.
Yeah. No, we have another bed. It's just
we do have another bed,
covered in crap.
It's okay.
Like not actual shit. Crap is my word for Dave's miscellaneous stuff around the house.
Yeah, Dave's stuff. You'll note, not Clover's stuff. Dave's stuff.
Oh my God! Shall I take the camera up and show? It's all your stuff.
It's not. What do you mean it's all my stuff? It's just because I reorganized things and I cleared up the front room. I did.
You did. You cleared up the front room and put it all in the spare room.
I didn't put it all in the spare room. I'm
joking.
Grossly unfair.
But yeah, up and down days.
Yes.
I'm making sure he rests a lot, and I'm feeding him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's we're doing our best with it. I was asleep until what time today? Come lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're having the good time, you want to make the most of it, make the best of it, and I personally want to try and appear as normal as I can and not make it terribly big deal out of it.
Thankfully, we've got a lot of video recorded already that we recorded a few weeks ago. So we have tutorial content that we can share. Yeah,
because now I'm getting better from the second round. I can edit, and we can start putting that down, and that's going to be other stuff that's coming out. Yeah. Chelsea, did they catch it early? Yeah, I think I mentioned this the last time that it was kind of like really lucky. I went to hospital for something that was completely non-related, but Clover got me to go because I had a swelling on my head right here, which is a bit of a coincidence, and it was a mosquito bite, and they did blood tests. They were very careful, very conscientious about it. And
sorry, I'm going to stand behind you.
Oh, because that will be less creepy.
There's no room beside you. Oh.
Yeah. And they looked inside my head. And they went, we're really sorry to tell you that you've got a brain tumor. Which, she's laughing her ass off while I'm telling you that they found out that there was a growth in my head.
It's thanks to me. I was the hypochondriac that made you go to the hospital.
You were the hypochondriac. I do. I owe it to her because she insisted that I go.
More beside you.
Okay. So, fucking hell.
Yeah, look at you here.
Will you? Good.
It's natural to look at people when they're talking.
It is. It is. So
the question was, did they catch it early?
Yes.
Yeah. No, they didn't, Dave. You've had it like over 10 years.
Well, maybe. Yes. All right. They can have a spat in a minute. They caught it early in the sense that I didn't have any symptoms of having a brain tumor. And they thought that it may have been growing very slowly for years. And then when they told us about it, it was obviously a surprise. But yeah, they caught it early. We got operation.
Yeah. You were lucky enough not to have any seizures or anything.
I didn't, no. And I remember the surgeon saying, and you say you've not had any symptoms. And looking back at the scan and going, oh, that's quite surprising. But awesome.
Dave.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it is fortunate the mosquito bit me.
Yes. We're going to find the mosquito and put it in a little amber thing, like in Jurassic Park.
So that somebody can make a dinosaur out of it in 1,000 years' time. Yeah, it is fortunate it bit me. It was double fortunate because it was I've had mosquito bites before and I've never had a reaction to them. But one of the consultants said it was a new type of mosquito and that's like new to the UK. It's not like radically different killer mosquito. It's just a different kind, and that's why I had a reaction to it. And I said, was it related to the brain tumor? And he said, no, it's completely unrelated. It's just a bit of a bizarre coincidence that the swelling was right over the site where the tumor was.
Yeah, because you got a bite on your arm and your leg after that, and they swelled up as well.
They did. Yeah, they properly swelled up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah.
But still, it was very scary.
Yeah, it's still very scary with all the isolation and the coronavirus and worried about going out and stuff like that. And even when you're feeling well at home, you wonder what's going to happen. And
so we can't even go for walks or anything. Like I think in the UK they said you can have one form of exercise outdoor. a day. We can't do that.
No.
So yeah, we're going to try and do some. We did yoga one day last week, so we're going to try and.
We're going to try and yoga on the regular, yeah, and make the most of the time at home, and carry on with that. So anyway, that's all too much about me. How are you guys? Talk to us about who you guys are, because
Yeah, there's lots of people who are sharing houses with people they may not want to, who are alone. How are you all coping with that? Some people are sharing houses with completely vanilla people.
Yeah.
Other people, everyone has different situations. How is everybody coping?
Mm-hmm.
You have a question about knots in the meantime.
Okay. Favorite single column knot for most users? I don't know.
I'd say the reef knot.
The reef knot. Yeah, I'd say the reef knot is a good knot.
Is that the one I can do?
It's the one that you can do. It's the one that you do on the beginning of the goatee.
Then that's the best one.
It is the best one. It's a collapsible knot in a very controllable way. So good.
Explain why.
Why is it collapsible or why is it controllable?
No, why it's the best knot.
Why it's the best knot? I don't know. Is it weird if I say I like the way it looks and I like the way it feels to tie and I like the way that I can make it collapse anytime I want to, and that if you tie it well, it doesn't collapse when you don't want it to. And I think it's a really understandable knot. I think it's there are a lot of really complicated knots in the world, but yeah, that's a really, really straightforward. It's easy to see whether you've tied it right. It's easy to see whether you've got twists in it. It's very utilitarian, and as long as you know what makes it collapse, you can tie it and use it in a way that simply won't. It's one of these things about knots in general, that if you know how a knot behaves, you can use it in a manner that won't force it to collapse unexpectedly or at the wrong time. But if you know how the knot works, if you understand the knot, then you can use its properties positively and negatively. You can, I can make a knot collapse anytime I want it to, because I know how the knot's constructed. So therefore, I can make the knot open. Some knots are uncollapsible under tension. For instance, before somebody pointed out the Somerville, while it's under tension, it's not a collapsible knot. Even if you try and put a quick release in it, it doesn't really work if there's actual real tension on it. And people say, I always say not to use the Somerville at the beginning of a goatee because it's an uncollapsible knot. And if you ever want to get the hands out quickly in an urgent situation, then you will find out really, really fast that is not an easy knot to undo under tension or under a urgent or strained circumstance, I would say. Yeah. Government key worker, I'm doing 6 to 7 days a week to keep up. I am sorry to hear that. It's really being polarizing.
I love to all the key workers out there.
Absolutely.
So much.
I love to.
It doesn't look very good there.
Okay.
There. Yeah.
That's Heartlight, and we are sickeningly cute at the moment.
But yeah, love to all the key workers, all the NHS workers who are risking themselves, putting themselves on the line. They don't get the luxury of staying indoors. And
some of them are being attacked for their passes, so people will get priority on food deliveries.
Disgusting.
Arseholes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite rope material, jute. Absolutely jute. It's got to be good jute. There is such a thing as bad jute. There's cheap, mass-processed, weak, badly treated, badly stored stuff. But the really good stuff is the really, 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 really good stuff. And there's nothing like it for tying with. It's got life. It's got, it's silky but still bitey. It can polish well. And when it polishes up, you get that beautiful creaking as well. And I like the sound. I mean, everything in tying is part of the experience of tying, and the sound of the rope, the feel of the rope, the look of the rope, the smell of the rope, all of it is part of the experience too. So, that's why good jute's my favorite. My favorite stuff at the moment is Ogawa from Japan, and it's just really great to tie with. And I'm going to get a load more of that for myself.
Yeah, we're down to one set of it.
We're down to one set, which is not a very big set.
One beautiful set.
One beautiful small set. I have a kid of 18 and I'm capable of running out of ropes in a session.
We're not converted to nylon.
Converted to nylon?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that like being converted to gas?
No, we're not converted to nylon yet, but it is fun to tie.
It is.
Like, especially for things like bedroom bondage and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Anything where you're going to get wet.
But we're really happy.
Want your rope to survive.
Yeah, it's
properly.
Really great for water bondage.
Yeah.
So like tying in the sea, tying in the bath, tying in the shower. It's great for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's also great if you love nylon. So,
Yeah, it's great if you love nylon, especially if you love nylon. Nylon is wonderful.
And
That's beautiful stuff.
We're really happy to see loads of people tie with it at the studio.
Yeah.
It's really, we were worried that it would just end up being like our style of rope studio, but it's nice to see different personalities and different styles develop. There
are three sets of knothead nylon in the studio that are our sets that we have left there for people to tie with.
Yeah.
Even though jute is my favorite thing, it's like we still have them and we've still used it. We've still done Western style bondage.
And we had a workshop with Knothead in December, and that went really, really well. Mm-hmm. And lots of people are asking for him to come back.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Smith, I've asked this because I have some decent jute, but people will look down on it for not being hemp.
Oh.
I think the whole hemp thing was a mistake. That sounds awful. I'm gonna explain that properly. That in Japan it's Asanawa, and Asanawa just means that it's a bast fiber, and both hemp and jute are bast fiber ropes. So from the Japanese language point of view, where they are not using any hemp at all, they just need the one word. They don't need to say it's jute or it's that. They just go, this is a bast fiber rope, which is in the vast majority of cases definitely jute. And then I think it was a mistranslation that got people onto using lots of hemp rope. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with hemp rope. I'm saying a lot of people early on, when they started looking at the Japanese style, they'd see this rope and it looks like hemp rope. It's the same size as very common hemp rope, and a lot of people started using it. And a lot of people got addicted to the smell.
It's about the only thing good about it. I mean, it does smell pretty good.
It does.
Especially Marrow, BindMe.
BindMe.nl does really good hemp rope.
Hemp rope, it smells beautiful. It's not like a farm or anything. It smells really nice. A bit like tatami mats, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's quite heavy. Like if you ever get flicked by hemp, like you know about it.
Yeah.
10 million times worse than getting flicked by jute.
It's heavy, it's limp, and it's horrible to tie with.
It doesn't photograph great. It tends to look a little bit green. Very similar to when you buy tatami mats.
Yeah.
Initially, they look kind of green.
Brand new, they're green, and then they go yellow over time.
Yeah, so the
hemp doesn't. The hemp just stays that kind of creamy color.
Yeah, and so jute tends to photograph a bit more golden. So if you're into photography, jute will definitely be you know, it will look better if you like, you know, goldeny coloured rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons a lot of people seem to have dyed hemp, so that it doesn't have that colour cast to it, so it loses that unnatural thing.
I think it's not about one being better than the other. It just depends what you're going to use it for.
I mean, I used hemp rope. It's not like I've never used hemp rope. It's not like I've never used cotton rope. It's not like I've never used nylon rope. What's your favorite thing? Jute rope, definitely. For me, in the style of tying that I do, jute rope is the stuff. And it's a pleasure to tie with good rope. And as soon as you have it in your hand, you can really tell good jute from bad jute. So yeah, I'm completely on board with jute. Completely. Not that I'd never touch anything else. States are each doing their own thing, state to state. That's with the the coronavirus thing. I hope things are going okay over there, and you know, everybody's taking care and distancing and looking after themselves. I don't want to say there's like you know, a continuous rolling. Don't do what we did. Oh, you did what we did, and the same thing happened. Going around the world.
Hindsight is wonderful.
Hindsight is wonderful, but there's also that thing where people only ever learn from their own mistakes, and it's a shame. And a lot of people are going to die because of it. And you know, it's hard for everybody. I have octogenarian parents who I can't go and visit.
Yeah.
I hope they're okay. Really, really do. Okay. I've not converted nylon. No. You're welcome for the answer, Mr. Smith. Alexander, if you love water bondage, then you'll love some really good jute. Not really good jute, really good nylon jute. You'll love really good nylon because it looks great. It looks great in the water, and it lasts for ages and ages, and it dries really well as well. So there's that. That's an hour.
Have you studied Naka style?
Have I studied Naka style? Yes, I have. We've been to Tokyo a few times to study with Naka. We first met him, believe it or not, in Russia, in Moscow. And then again in London, and then we've been to Tokyo several times. Paris as well.
We were supposed to be studying with him in Turin recently, but it got cancelled, which was a really good and hard decision for the organisers to make.
Yeah. So kudos to my friends Rick and Ella. We hope that they're okay out there in Italy, because things are bad over there, and I don't know.
I think people have been forced to make some really difficult decisions. And I think when, you know, a lot of event organisers are kind of, thankfully most people are being really supportive, but some people aren't. And it is a really difficult decision to cancel an event or shut a studio when you don't know for how long, or, you know, people have arranged flights and accommodation and tickets for certain events. And same with the studio. So I know me personally, I've had a few messages from people asking me what's happening in August, and I'm like, I have no clue where we're going to be in August, you know. And some people are getting quite annoyed by that. When I say some, like really minority.
Yes.
But you know, places like Anatomy Studio, Osa Kokoro Studio, and some of our friends who organise events around Europe have had to make some really difficult decisions. And I know you look at it and you think, oh yeah, that's really obvious to shut. When we were making those decisions, we didn't know how serious, you know, we didn't know then. And trying to think in the best interest of the community, keep people safe, and that kind of thing. So lots of love for everyone who organises events. And we're trying to support people who are suddenly out of work. We had someone in the studio help us with a GoFundMe And we were so blown away by the amount of support we've had from that, like completely, really, really touching. So like that, if you can support people at the moment, go to any virtual classes there are. Anatomy Studio are doing a few. I went to their beginner Thursday one last week, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, we went because we wanted to support them. We wanted to support our friends. We wanted to support another venue in the UK. You know, it's a time for people to support each other.
Definitely.
This is definitely, you know, a time where you can just be kind to each other and to show that, you know, we are a community and we're in a community together in a tough time. You know, reach out and support.
We're trying to do virtual classes with people who are out of work. So if you are an educator and want to put a class on that's appropriate for learning virtually, please do get in contact with us and we'll look at that. But yeah, it's the only way we can kind of support each other. So yeah.
Support each other, be nice to each other.
Yeah.
But stay away from each other. At least 6 feet. Or 2 meters. I don't know. 2 meters, 6'6". Yeah.
Same.
6'6". Yeah. I think so. Love water bondage. Does smell nice, Mr. Smith. That is true. Thank you for being such an inspiration. I don't know what to say to that apart from thank you.
We inspire with our banter. It's okay to be bantery.
Yeah, we did it for the bants. That's all right.
Thank you.
Ricardo's planned workshop in Amsterdam this coming May has been cancelled too. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. Yeah. We're hoping that everything will be okay for the Hashira workshop. Probably wishful thinking, but it is the end of May, so we're keeping everything crossed. We do have a backup date in place if it can't. And I know that those guys are so stressed out to bits because they're having to rearrange everything in an already really busy calendar. So do send them some love.
Absolutely, yeah. Everybody's had to, you know, cancel a lot of stuff. This is kind of like a double, triple hit now because I had to cancel a lot of stuff because of the cancer treatment, and then we was shutting down the studio and as a consequence of that, you know, privates as well, and it's like being hit on top of hit on top of hit, and you know, you got to keep your head up and keep moving forward and go, I'm going to reschedule all this stuff. We'll do it afterwards. We will have some amazing parties and reunions after this. We will have a reopening party at the studio, and everybody come and hi and have a great time. And you know, we got a. I think that's a thing for keeping yourself positive is that it's going to be like months and months, but I'm looking forward to the end of the chemotherapy and you're cancer free and just, you know, ring the bell celebration. That's it. We got through this thing. And it's incredible what medical science can do at the moment, and it's incredible what they can treat you for. You know, we're lucky to live in a time when this can be handled. Even with, you know, you look at modern technology and travel and go, well, that's why the coronavirus spread so fast. It's also why it was identified so fast. We knew what to do so fast. You know, it's not like the medieval times where it would just be an uncontrolled plague and people would, not know what to do about it. So, good thoughts for fast recovery. Well, thank you. Yes. A full whip in a field is enough social distance.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I tend more towards a 12-foot than an 8-foot whip, really. You know, just to be on the safe side.
Where are you with the comments?
I'm down here.
You missed loads.
What did I miss?
How would you describe your relationship?
I'm not sure I'd describe it.
You wouldn't attempt that.
I wouldn't attempt to describe it. There's too much. There's too much of it to get over in a simple. It's this.
I'm too close to them.
I think when she loves me grabbing her neck, and I hate her grabbing mine.
So like the urge to do it, is there.
Break your fingers.
Our relationship is very fucked up. Actually, I don't know. I think we've looked at life differently since last July when you were diagnosed.
Yes.
And we're a lot kinder to each other. We're a lot more forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
We fight less.
Yeah.
I mean, when we did fight, it was always over really stupid things.
It was because we bottled stuff up and we got really highly stressed, and then we would blow up over nothing.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like an uncomfortable argument because it was like that genuinely was over nothing, and you've got no justification. You're now in an argument trying to justify something you can't justify, and it wasn't really that thing. It was all the things before it that had gone into winding you up, and you didn't deal with any of those things until you hit the point mark snap. And it's good to recognize those things, because then you end up not having unnecessary blow ups at each other. Because
I think there's been like a lot, because early 2018 was it?
Mm-hmm.
When did we open the studio? 2018. So from
February
January
23rd, 2019.
Did we?
That was the opening date.
2019.
That was the opening date, but we actually signed the lease in 2018 in October.
Awesome. That's what I'm thinking. So it was late 2018 when we started working on the studio.
Stress.
And most of 2019 was stress about arranging events and organizing things and setting all like the legalities up and everything. And as well, because it is a part-time studio, because we do both work as well.
Mm-hmm.
However, the rent is full-time. Mm-hmm. So it's like managing a balance of that, because so our rope, and so this is related to the question. Yeah. So basically DS and rope and all the fun things in life kind of took a hold for a very long time. So at the moment, we're really only getting our DS back now, like recently. But we're more of a DS couple. Yeah. But usually it's like it's not 24/7, so it's because I'd explode. It's true. We are DSy, but it's when we play. And there is like we have other things that are sort of like undertones.
And part of our life and part of our relationship, but it's like, how do you manage your DS? Well, we're just kind of together, and there are moments when you just got to be humans, and I think I would describe most of our relationship as just being humans with each other, as best we can, and trying to be our natural selves with each other. And if we can do that, then it seems like everything works.
But an important part of being humans is a really hot spanking as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Totally true. That's totally not a cane on the sofa. That was a present. That was a present from a friend.
Thank you, Command.
Yay. Oh, Jesus. We're getting back to the questions now. What advice do you have for riggers who can't currently practice with partners due to social distancing but want to continue practicing? At the risk of sounding a little obvious, practice with not your partner, practice with weights. I used to do a thing with like a couple of suitcases with bricks in and a couple of broom handles. Which would keep them apart so that I could actually play with different weights and manipulating them so that I could practice with uplines without needing to have a person. I had, I've had periods in my life where there's been years with no relationship, and I've just gone and practice. sitting at home in front of the TV, practicing single column ties on my leg, to the point where I can tie them without even thinking about them. Never mind looking at them. I don't need to look at them. I can look at her while I'm tying, and that's like I think that's a fundamentally good skill step to have, to the point where the fundamental things that you are doing, you are so good at them, you are so practiced at them, that they're not taking you away from the person that you're tying. So all the good skills you can get without tying an actual person are still great skills to work with.
You use a kettlebell as well. I
do use a kettlebell very frequently. Not just to hang from her. What? It's not like a single purpose thing. I've used it for exercise also.
No, but you've used it. You used it in the video.
I know I use it. I know, but nobody saw that because nobody saw the weight in it.
Yeah, there was a weight hanging from that. And also, not everyone will have a suspension point in their home as well. But you can practice like stuff with a long sleeve jumper, with other jumpers, or just pad up a jumper and you can practice gote.
I stuffed an old work shirt, an old plaid work shirt with long sleeves, and I stuffed that with free newspapers.
Yeah, just don't stuff it with toilet tissue.
Okay, very, very much a joke of the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't try and come back on that one. Yeah, so yes, Daniel, that's what I advise. Be inventive. I've tied up chairs. I've tied up chair backs. I've tied teddy bears. I've tied.
We have people do that in the studio
bears.
who tie the octopods.
Yeah.
When they don't have partners, just practicing like munter hitches on them. You can do that with anything.
Yeah. And
you can practice single column ties in all different directions on your own ankles.
Yeah.
Or your thigh.
Yeah, you can like order a 5-foot teddy bear from Amazon or whatever. Have it socially distanced delivered to you.
We need a 5-foot teddy bear.
We want a 5-foot teddy bear. We
want a 5-foot octopod. Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Yay! Our bantering is very enjoyable to watch. You can tune in every Sunday for bantering.
Yeah.
That is a promise.
There will be bants. This is true. Good to see you both. Congratulations on getting married. We're not married.
We didn't get married. Oh God, I don't have my ring on.
You don't.
Hang on.
Go and get your ring.
I had a bat.
It's on the wooden thing across the We got engaged. We got engaged on our 10th anniversary. And we also announced our 10th anniversary photo and bondage book, which is going to be awesome, which I have now finished and just needs proofing and sending to the printers if they are still working. I know.
Got it.
So, yeah.
Thank you for the reminder. I did have a bath.
Yeah.
That's why I took it off.
Yes. So, yes, that was the thing. Yeah, the engagement, I managed to surprise her after all this time.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd given up. So, yeah, it was a surprise. Like, it took 10 bloody years.
10 bloody years. Yeah. What was that thing? It was like, I've been married for 16 years now. 16 grueling years. That's got to count for something. Oh, sorry, that was an old English comedy thing. I don't expect anybody but me to get it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, the whip. I get that. Yep. Thanks to you guys. What emotions do you feel when tying Clover? All the emotions. It is really hard to go like I feel this, because I feel lots of things.
I'm judging you.
I know you are. I can see there on the monitor judging me. They can all see it too.
Shall I go away and you can
No,
answer?
I'm going to answer anyway. I am. Yeah, I've gotten better at this. Yeah, I feel.
Should we do a mind map?
Oh Jesus! Not right now. Not right now. I'm really trying to answer this.
Okay.
It's a serious question, and I think it deserves a serious answer. Yeah, I feel all the feelings, and it depends what we're doing at the time. If we're doing seminar stuff for ourselves, then that's got a different feeling than, if you're demonstrating something, it's got a different feeling than if you are genuinely playing. And when I say seminar, it's not just one thing. So you can be focusing on different aspects of emotion, but the emotions become like layered up into a big stiff feeling that you can't really describe. That you love somebody and you're hurting them, and you are hurting them because they love it, and you're putting them under a lot of pressure, and you're putting them under a lot of strain, and you can only do it because they love it and you love it, and it's two different parts of the equation. You need to be two different things, two different people together who have different feelings and are enjoying different things, and are, in one sense it's the same thing, and in another sense it's a very different thing. I'm trying, but it's really hard. It's really hard to describe. You feel a lot of love, and it's kind of an overpowering sense of closeness. And
you said you wanted to kill me a few times, so like.
I did.
How would you describe that? Like.
Well, that's just it's a perfectly ordinary murderous feeling. Everybody has them.
Not actual murder.
I know.
But like that sounds like passion.
It is passionate, yeah. It's a bunch of really passionate feelings, but it's not one feeling. So, which is where it suddenly becomes hard to describe.
Complex.
It is complicated. It's complicated. John C. Your closeness and love are very visible. I love that. My wife and I have that same thing. I believe that it's at least partially from being open about your kinks and the bonds that form from that openness. Yes, yeah. Being open with each other, I think, works. And I don't know how much it works without the kink, because we do have the kink, but it's hard for me to say, like, yeah, it's this or this. I think a lot of it is our efforts as people to be good with each other and be open with each other, even when it's hard. And sometimes it's hard, and we have struggled with it. Yeah. I have struggled with it.
I think it's about being honest, even when you don't like what that honesty brings. And I think, like with rope, it's like it's facing that fear, and I think that's for both of us. It's going where, when we're really playing, it's kind of going where we haven't negotiated, we don't know what's coming, and it's kind of going into that unknown. And that's the same as a relationship. Like a lot of the time we are going into the unknown. This was our first time dealing with cancer. We don't know what it's going to bring. There's been like a lot of guilt. There's been tremendous amounts of fear. Like twice I thought I was going to lose you in that time. And I think it's just, there's so many similarities and crossover with rope and with the relationship as well. And openness is definitely one of them, like facing that darkness, those negative feelings, and being really, really honest and authentic with one another. and kind of being willing to explore that. Like we talk, especially in this isolation period, we've talked a lot about like our feelings about like us, ourselves, our relationships, us as individuals, where we feel we are and where we want to go. And there have been many mind maps involved.
We like mind maps. We use them all the time.
It's really helped actually, just sort of organizing thoughts, especially around topics where you think there's so much, or also where there's so little, and you kind of have to push yourself a little bit. So yeah, openness is definitely
part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Remember you guys in Preston shooting with Naked Rockstar? Oh my God, there's a name from the past.
Gosh, that was ages ago.
It
was. My God.
Preston.
Wasn't that the puppy play thing? That was awesome. And then the slave auction.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a slave auction. It was great.
Oh my God, yeah. Crazy shit there. Crazy shit.
Someone's got a technical question, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout.
Yep, don't mind at all. John C. down the bottom. Very appreciating the answer.
Yes, with a carrot.
With a carrot. Oh, or in Florida with a bunch of carrots and the hot sauce.
A butt carrot, in fact.
A bunch of carrots. A bunch of butt carrots. Nobody who hasn't seen that meme will, get that at all. Kinks and openness in communication made a huge difference. Yeah, I think they do. I think there's kind of a built-in thing with that there's the culture of, you've got to be open, you've got to like really try and know each other. And if you go into starting a relationship with that expectation and with the expectation that you're going to work on that, I think that helps. I think, you're starting in keyed up like this is about openness and honesty, and it's not like any relationship shouldn't be, but going in explicitly saying, we really need to work through that, and really would need to work on the openness and so forth, and having that, it's kind of built in from the beginning. So I think that affects relationships.
And I think like even as we mentioned before, we've never done cancer before. And I think part of that conversation was
super hoping it's one time only.
Yes. And part of that conversation was, to help build that understanding and empathy for each other, is that actually I can never, ever, no matter what, I think I'm quite good, I'm quite empathetic, I can never actually understand what Dave is going through. I don't know what it's like to be diagnosed with a brain tumor, even though I was standing in the room with him. Just like he can never, ever know what it's like to have the person you love the most in the world diagnosed with a brain tumor. They're two very different things. So like, again, having that really open and honest conversation together, knowing that we can do our best to empathize and understand, but we'll never really know what that lived experience is like, has really helped. And like translating that to things like rope, like, Dave will never know what it's really like to be Clover in his rope doing semi-hour, just like I will never know what it's like to be WykD Dave tying rope, because, you could then say, oh, Dave, go get tied up, but he won't experience it like I experience it. He will probably actually hate every moment of it, and it will tell him that rope sucks, which we don't want. So it's just kind of, and I think that's part of empathy, is understanding that you may not know exactly as that person is receiving it. So it can be useful. Anyway, this is like totally me meandering and talking.
Oh, that's totally fine. I think it's it's all good stuff. Sure. Trust yourself. It's great.
Yeah.
It's like to like hear what you're feeling.
Exactly. I tell you enough though.
I know.
I don't shut up.
Sometimes true, but sometimes I don't either. So
This is true.
we try to be sympathetic with each other when we need to talk. And that's another thing. I think it's a skill, and you get better at it if you keep trying to get better at it.
So is everybody doing? Is everybody able to tie? Or like, has anybody been tying while in self-isolation? I self-tied the other day, and then Dave tied my arms up.
I did.
I did most of the work.
Yeah. Then semi-suspended you, and it got really hot.
It did. It got really hot. It was
stepping on your face.
You were. It was great.
Yeah. So that was like, oh, Dave, come over here and help. And then next thing you know, she's in a hush strappado halfway to the ceiling with a shoulder on the ground and my feet and my foot and my face. Oh, it was really hard.
Your shoelaces. It's still technically tying. And you can do single column ties. Dave has told me off before for tying my shoelaces inefficiently.
I have. She was using the incorrect method of bow tying. It was suboptimal. I'm sorry.
And then we had, this was one of our stupid arguments that we had.
It was one of the reasons why you tie a double knot when you're tying your shoes.
Because it comes undone.
Because it comes undone, because you don't tie it
it works.
The type of bow I do, it wouldn't come undone. So, yeah. Do as I say and do.
There we go. There is high protocol here when it comes to shoelace tying.
Absolutely.
Now I just tie them. They're tied forever, and I just stick my foot in and out. So I don't have to retie it. No, and thankfully, they're good, solid ties that Dave approves of, so they don't come undone all the time. I just leave them tied forever.
Yeah. Is sushi really that good? Good sushi really is as good as really good sushi.
Yeah. So sushi in Japan is different to any sushi I've ever had.
Yeah, even the stuff that you buy from convenience places is better sushi than you will get in most restaurants in the UK. And if you are lucky enough to go to a really good sushi restaurant in Japan, you will have the best sushi of your life. And you'll come back here and go, I am not buying that shit from name your supermarket here ever again. Because it's not worth it.
Some of it is, a little bit gross. Like the weird stuff that looked like drool. It was horrible. What was that?
I don't know. It was something Sugiura was very keen on me trying.
Yeah, because he wanted to see a reaction. And I was like dying looking at it because it looked like horrendous drool.
It was horrendous.
And you were just like, nom, 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 it's great.
Tubular stuff.
So he was really disappointed.
I just tried it straight away. I went, yeah, it's nice. And it's like, oh, really? Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just not gonna back down from that one.
No, that was horrible. I still remember the pictures. I took a photo.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
It's.
Pretty sure there's a photo of it on my Instagram.
It was absolutely fine. Yeah. My shoelaces. In Yukimura style, he teaches these 2 or 3 basic sequences on the floor transitions. The idea, I think, is to take the focus away from the pattern and put it more into the play and interaction of his style. I see that there's like departure points for rote play. Does Naka have a sequence of transitions that students are frequently made to repeat? It's hard for me to say because I haven't seen him privately teaching other people. I've seen some of the same stuff, having photos taken of it in different lessons. But it's not really what we're learning from him.
No, I think most of our greatest lessons with Naka-san have been just conversation, just talking about topics, very little tying. Like the last time we were fortunate enough to study with him in Tokyo, I think all day we did 1 tie, maybe 2.
Yeah.
And it was just talking about like theory and philosophy and
concepts.
Why
do you think what you think?
So yeah, I think I don't know, but I think he may do like he just adapts to what that student needs. Like, not adapts, but he focuses on what that student needs.
Yeah, and I think he's got a very good way of teaching that he's looking for where they have a problem, and if we do this, we will be addressing that problem in the doing of this.
Yeah.
So, and that's an approach I take a great deal, especially in private lessons where you don't have to go, here is the syllabus. Whereas if you're teaching like a group of people, you need to go, this will contain this, 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 and this thing, and by the end of the day, we will have got from here to here, and people need that up front. When you're teaching privately, you can go, okay, this is the problem. So now we need to address this problem. And it's one of the great joys of private teaching is that you can do that. You can adapt it to the person. You can adapt slightly in classes, but not really, because you've got, I must get all these blocks through. I've given this expectation, so we're gonna get through this.
I think maybe with NACA style, a lot of people who go to study with him think that they're advanced students, and in the grand scheme of things, they could be. I don't know, but I think when you go and you study with NACA-san, you need to think of yourself as a beginner in that style, and you almost have to unlearn everything else you've learned and relearn it again, which personally I think is great. So I think, I know when we have studied with NACA, we've had some conversations with him, and I know he does worry about people's gote, so like TK or harness, because like that, people come with the attitude that they're advanced, and he's thinking, you know, we need to redo this, and they might come with a different style gote that won't work with Seminawa. So I think, you know, if you are going to study with NACA, I would go with an open mind and a willingness to really learn and absorb.
Yeah, and I would say, go if you're interested in his style. Don't go if you're not. If you just want to go, I studied with NACA at one point, then you're going for the wrong reason. You got to go because you love his stuff, and if you love his stuff, then, you know, I don't feel like I really tie NACA style, but I admire his style. I admire his thinking. I admire his process. I admire his aesthetic. I admire so much that he's done and so much that he knows, that we have learned incredibly valuable things from him that have informed a lot of the things that we do.
Yeah, we're heavily inspired by him, but
absolutely.
we wouldn't be like egocentric enough to say we're tying NACA style, because we haven't dedicated our lives to that style. Like, for example, Kimbaku Luxuria have. You know, we're not in that same position, and we feel, you know, we wouldn't do the disservice to NACA of saying that. There's a heavy respect there. But I'm meandering again.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, you know, can you teach a NACA gote? Well, I can, because I've been taught NACA's gote by NACA. So technically I can, but I don't, because it's not something I personally use in my style. And, you know.
And we 100% know, if we said to NACA-san, can we teach your gote? He would say yes, because it's Japanese way. He's really super polite. He would say yes. He doesn't want to hurt people. Don't ask. Wait for it to be offered. So if you do go to Japan, don't ask. It's really rude.
Can I study your style? Can I say I'm your student? Well, he will probably say yes.
If he wants you to be your student, he'll ask you. You know. So anyway, it's not a telling off.
It's not a telling off. No, it isn't. But it's a little bit of a warning that,
just a kind of a heads up.
I don't like. I feel bad if I feel like people are taking advantage of somebody else's politeness and good nature, and not limited to NACA, but
everybody.
To everybody. It's like, I know that this person is going to be really nice to me, therefore I'm going to push it and try and get something for myself. And I think if you go with that attitude, then you know, you've still got an original problem that, you know, maybe you shouldn't be going. What is my favorite Japanese word to say? Oh, this one's really hard because I say some Japanese words kind of wrong. And the pronunciation like can really trip you up. It's like saying clover in Japanese.
It's Karoba.
Which is Karoba. And we had this. We went to see Naka tying at a traditional Japanese house in Tokyo. And we went there and went, who are you, WykD Dave? Yes, found you. Who's this? This is Clover, Hope, Karoba. And went on and on and on like that. And then we wrote it down and they went, oh, Karoba. Okay, yeah. And it was like, I couldn't hear the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we are gaijin and can't say anything.
We don't say anything right.
And like our Japanese sucks.
Oh, it does.
And we need to pick that up again.
Yeah, we got to the point we'd gotten just enough to get ourselves into trouble.
Yeah.
And you might as well stick to English because they have better English. Well, some of them. Yeah. I kind of like how Mizu sounds. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Did we miss any questions?
Did we? Mr. Smith thinks he needs to send a Velcro, which I think that's a little bit harsh on yourself there.
I'm like, yeah, I need to turn to Velcro.
Yeah, you need to put someone. You want to put somebody in a woolly suit and just throw them at a wall at it. I think that's actually been done. Weirdly. Lots of countries speak far better English than Manchester. I don't know. I mean, if you're from Manchester, you're allowed to say that. I'm not, so I probably wouldn't. Yeah. I think we're down the kids now. We're down the
yeah, so
now the questions and everybody's slowed.
We're going to do a few virtual stuff. We have a class with FOCO planned, date to be confirmed. We also have Anna and Fred from anatomy going to do a caning class. We're going to do some classes, and we're going to do like a social rope jam that everyone can join. From around the world. We do have Tied Up Tuesday events scheduled, but they're more for people who have already been coming to the studio to kind of connect with people they already know rather than making new friends. So we will have separate events for people to join in if you haven't been to the studio. So they'll be announced as soon as I can kind of get around to it. Probably tomorrow I'll do it. I was working on the Tied Up Tuesday ones today. So yeah, watch this space. Keep in touch and look after yourselves.
And thanks for coming. We've really appreciated it, and cool. Everybody stay safe.
Bye.
Bye. Yes, end the stream.